The industrial design team is keeping Phone 3 very under wraps. I think I've seen a glimpse.
David has got closer than I would have liked him to.
I think maybe no comment a better answer. Looks like a next generation phone design, so potentially Phone 3. I do like your stack up, kind of the side profile, how you've beveled the front glass. So maybe I'd say do some more work on the bottom half.
On Phone 2, we have a very similar shape to this down here, and then this super striking camera bump.
I don't know what sort of cameras you could fit into this, but I think it's quite a neat way of concealing all of the different lenses.
Camera lenses these days are getting much larger in order to get great pictures and get enough light into the sensor. I think that bar would probably have to be a bit taller in order to work well by today's camera standards. We've got the recording light, which is very dear to my heart, and I'd like to use it more, actually, in the future. I think there's more that we could do with it, because I think privacy is really important, and if I'm being filmed, I'd like to know that, because cameras are so abundant in the world, and I think we should all be pretty clear about whether we're being recorded or not.
Glyph evolution is really interesting to me. This sort of segmented display, potentially a bit too symmetric for it to be a nothing glyph, and then this light bar, which I guess is maybe a fill light for the camera, which I think would be really cool.
You want it to be recognizable as a nothing product, but you also want to keep people surprised and introduce some new elements. People be thinking, what is nothing doing for Phone 3? We know that people are waiting. Phone 3, hotly anticipated, coming later this year.
Hold up.
Before we carry on, we've got a giveaway. We're giving one Phone 3A to one lucky subscriber. To enter, just drop a comment and make sure you're subscribed. Full terms and conditions are in the description. Let's get back to it.
Okay, Headphone.
I think first response to these is like, it's striking, which I like. I think the ear 1, that squareness, and then the ear 2 getting even more square.
I tried on the Dyson headphones a few weeks ago, and I don't know if I have a small head, but they look huge on me. And I kind of get a big sense of scale from this as well.
I think we already know what I might say. Why has it got glyphs on it? Because it's on your head, so you can't see the LEDs while it's in use. Which begs the question, who are they for and what do they do?
I think you need to work on maybe how you judge or position your ideas, because I think a few of your earlier concepts in your sketchbook could have made a more interesting render and CAD model. The headband on the second sketch is quite nice. The ear cushion on the second page is also maybe nicer than the version you ended up with.
You can see there's some familiar elements from Phone 1 and the NFC coil with some glyphs around it, but I just love the depth you get here.
I do like the slider. I'm a big fan of things with a really clear state. I think we've got into a world of long presses, and in our opinion, it's often harder to use. Even though it appears to be intelligent, it's often worse.
So on the back of the product, we've got this like Qi charging coil, which could be cool. I can imagine there's like a stand or accessory that charges the headphones wirelessly, especially if these are gaming headphones. You know, you just throw them on your desk, boom, charged, ready for the next time you want to use them.
I hope we do a games console one day.
Could there be a game integration kit for the glyphs, and you could get some kind of information outside of the screen, like peripheral information from the game? It could be interesting.
The heat coming out of that vent would be uncomfortable if your hand's right there. Just get like sweaty palms.
Why the D-pad be so small though? Like we got big old thumbsticks, we got some pretty normal looking sized buttons up over there, but that D-pad's looking kind of cute.
This looks heavily inspired by what other gaming consoles or kind of handheld consoles look like in the market. We often try to look at a lot of things that might not necessarily be a console and might be other things that you kind of hold in your hands or play games on.
I would want to do something wild. Whilst I don't know that it ever really caught on, the iToy, it was so interesting in, God knows, 2003 or something, to play PlayStation games, but to be karate chopping or whatever it was that you had to do. It was a completely new paradigm, and it was fun and it worked.
I'm not the customer for this. I quite enjoy retro gaming, so I don't want to be playing Spider-Man in HD. I want to be playing 8-bit, colorless Snake.
This looks like a coffee grinder.
So we've got transparency, we've got glyphs, we've got some red accents, and we do like coffee in this office actually. Maybe the editor can shove in a picture of our new coffee setup.
I love the fact that they've tried to kind of think about how things might actually fit inside this object, and they've kind of tried to think about the internals.
You have to maintain the coffee grinder, so could some kind of glyph feedback let you know if there's a fault or if it's, you know, the burrs need sharpening or replacing?
So I think it would be nice to play with some surfacing there to try and get light to bounce in and out on the corner to make it look like this gem property that I think Ear 2 case does really well.
This has been put together with love, and I'm really happy they shared it with us.
We've got a keyboard.
I think it's good that you have the ability in a modular sense, be able to kind of customize your keyboard and your setup.
It looks a bit like an NPC drum pad.
Kind of looks like a drum pad.
Like a little drum pad.
Then you can program some percussion on your keyboard, in which case 10 out of 10.
It's really, really striking, which is nice. You know, this black-white contrast and then a clear, super reflective wedge on the front is just really nice. I think bring more attention to the dial.
I don't think big keyboards usually have an emoji button. That feels like that makes perfect sense, because on the Mac you've got to do like command, control, command, function, option. No one knows how to get the emote. Oh, I just deleted it. I'm sorry, Darren.
Oh yeah, it's a mouse. And what do you know? There's glyphs.
At first I thought it was a jet ski on water, but it's a mouse.
Seems very aerodynamic.
Kind of has a bit of dodgem energy.
My immediate question comes to ergonomics. We all know that famously Apple's mouse kind of do be lacking in that department.
Ergonomically, for like the hand on the desk, it's quite comfortable, the finger's quite low. As soon as you raise those fingers up, I feel like my wrist is coming back a bit. I wonder why nobody else has ever done that. I wonder if that's not in the most comfortable wrist position. Well, that would be something that I would check.
Looks like a bit of RSI waiting to happen.
If it was for gamers, the glyphs on the mouse make sense, because I know for some reasons gamers like to have things that light up.
Should this have a glyph interface? What does the glyph interface do? It's going to be under my palm. Can it communicate with me? No.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like the whole thing deforms like a piston. So I think having something I can push all the way down is really nice. Maybe there's like a force touch kind of thing where quick click does one thing, hard click does another thing.
Something we do as industrial designers as well is we think about how you'd actually manufacture this object. Our engineers would have a headache if we put something like this in front of them.
Hell no, man. What the